All right, welcome everybody. My name is Marnie Hernandez. Today we are doing part 3 of Alaska. All right, so if you have not attended the other 2 trainings, they are right here in my YouTube channel. We have part 2 right here that was just loaded 4 days ago. And then we have part 1 right here that was loaded 2 weeks ago. So you can catch up, get your certification, okay? What we're doing today is we do the training together, follow along on your phone, and then do the actual test online or vice versa. So that way you can get your certificate, okay? The cool part about this is, guys, whenever we do these, you'll always get promotions. Some companies will send promotional material to you. You get notified of fam trips, etc. So besides printing your certificate and posting it on social media, hey guys, I'm now an Alaskan specialist, I can help you out. You'll also get the benefits now and perks of being a specialist. Okay, so that's why we do these. We do these on Mondays and Fridays, and then on Sundays, Courtney has volunteered to do catch up, because like Marriott took more than 1 night or 2 nights. It took, we had to carry it over, and I think she's now, you guys did finish it, right, Christine? On Sunday you guys finished Marriott, correct? And that's right here, Marriott 3,
Yeah.
4.
Yes.
Part 2 is right here, and part 1 is over here. So now the carryover is on Sundays, we're doing Cunard and Princess for the next 3 Sundays. Again, that's the cruise line that you get a free cruise. So make sure you catch up with us on that. Again, our Princess and Cunard are in here. Here's Cunard Travel Part 1, Part 2 right here. Okay, and let's earn that free cruise, anywhere from a 3-day to a 30-day cruise. All right, so if you're just joining us, right here is the link, everybody. This is where we're at. We're going to start on Arctic and Winter Adventure, okay? So hopefully you guys are following along. Sundays are at 10 a.m. All the live trainings, you should get notified, Faith, on our daily text. You should be getting a daily text. Also right here on Rising Tide, they have the live training schedule also, and it's right here. Okay, so right here is the training schedule along with the links of the trainings we're doing. Okay. All right, so let's get started. So I'm going to need somebody, if you guys could just follow along on the, oh, it stopped. Now that we're in it, it automatically stops. This new system they have is crazy. All right, I'll try to figure it out later, but right now we'll go ahead and get started. So if somebody wants to keep an eye on the chat box, that would be great. What we usually do, it's usually reading. We do take turns, and then sometimes it's video. So again, just stay plugged in. If you can't hear very well, please let me know. I'll move my speaker down. All right, so Arctic, the alluring Arctic, home of Yupik culture, tundra, musk oxen, and polar bears. This module will help you see that the Arctic, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, is not only accessible, but also full of interesting culture, wildlife, and experiences for your clients wanting to get off the beaten path. All right, more information, let's see. So it takes you into these things. When it says more information, these are things that if you'd like, you can print out and stuff, information. But so here is the start. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the region intro. Okay, far north. The far north is one of the most diverse regions in Alaska, filled with rich cultural influences from the indigenous people of Alaska and colorful gold rush days of the past. Pristine wilderness areas cover a landscape ranging from coastal plains to mountain ranges. Geography. The Chukchi Sea, Bering Sea, and Arctic Ocean border the region. Most of the far north is located west and north of the Yukon River and north of the Arctic Circle. The Brooks Range, the northernmost mountain range in Alaska, is a land of dramatic glacier-made peaks and valleys, wild rivers, and gentle foothills, which slope northward to the Arctic coastal plain. Permafrost, a layer of frozen ground of which only the top few inches typically thaw, affects much of the landscape. Though there are a few trees throughout the region, there is much vegetation. Wildflowers, grasses, and mosses color the tundra in summer and have been an important component in the indigenous people's subsistence lifestyles for generations. History. Alaska's far north is home to the Inupiat Eskimos, many of whom still live a subsistence lifestyle and preserve their history verbally from generation to generation. The far north region was largely unexposed to Western culture until the late 1800s, when gold brought prospectors north to Nome. Many prospectors stayed to find their fortune, either mining for gold on the beaches of Nome or providing services to the miners. In 1968, the largest oil field in North America was discovered on the north slope of Alaska, and Trans-Alaska Pipeline System was constructed to move the oil from the far north to tankers in Prince William Sound. Now, because of the established national and state parks, refuge preserves, and accessible indigenous communities, tourism is playing a role in this region, providing economic opportunities for the locals and exposures of the region to the rest of the world. Climate. The far north is an incredible part of Alaska, and the summer and winter temperatures can vary dramatically. Communities along the coast will see snow in the winter lasting from October through April. And then the climate is drier to the interior. Okay. All right. So there's an average of the sunlight and then the weather. All right. Getting around. The communities of the far north are accessible year round from Fairbanks or Anchorage via jet, small aircraft, and in summer, limited cruise ship visits. Your clients wishing to get a taste of the far north can take a day trip into some of the northernmost communities in the U.S., such as Nome, Kotzebue, Barrow, or Prudhoe Bay. Or they may want to dedicate weeks to a true off-the-grid experience, rafting and hiking some of the world's last authentic wilderness. Driving in the far north is limited. Your clients may ask you about the Dalton Highway, also known as the Hall Road. This road runs more than 400 miles from Prudhoe Bay to Fairbanks and is gravel except for approximately 100 miles of the southern portion. While Prudhoe Bay is accessible only as a pre-arranged tour, your clients could rent a car in Fairbanks and drive to Dead Horse and back. However, it is always important to ask the rental agency if they allow their cars to be driven on the Hall Road. Another option is taking a package tour out of Fairbanks, which includes the road and its attractions. Nome's unique road system of more than 300 miles of paved and gravel roads provides an opportunity for your clients to rent a car and explore the surrounding area, and even drive to another community, either independently or with a guide. The rivers of the far north region provide access to remote communities and wilderness areas by raft and riverboat. Arrangements should be made in advance for equipment, guides, and permits. In winter, the rivers turn to ice roads and can be driven by the snowmobile and dog sled. All right, let's watch a quick little video. Aww. coat is bigger than the baby. All right, so we're gonna skip this now and go to the next page because we wanna make sure we get to the training, okay? The Arctic coast is home to the northernmost community of the United States, as well as the largest oil field in North America. Access is by road, air, and seasonally by ocean. Barrow is one of the largest Inupiat Eskimo settlements in Alaska, and it is the seat of 88,000 miles North Slope Borough, the world's largest municipal government. It is also the farthest north frontier settlement in the United States and the northernmost town in North America. Traditionally, Barrow is known as Yupikchik by the indigenous people, meaning place where owls are hunted. Although Barrow is one of the most modern communities in the region, hunting of whales, seals, walrus, caribou, and ducks is still important for both traditional and economic reasons. Visitors may see some residents of Barrow heading for whale camps in April and May, as whaling and other subsistence activities still play an important role in the Arctic community. All right, that may be a test question, guys. When does the whale camps open? April and May. In the summer months, tour operators offer day or overnight package tours of the area that can include touring the community and meeting locals or photographing the unique wildlife of this region. Tour operators also offer trips in the winter for visitors wishing to experience the 24 hours of darkness or to look for the aurora borealis and polar bears. Location, but Barrow is located on the Chukchi Sea coast, 10 miles southwest of Point Barrow, which is the northernmost point of the United States. Barrow is 725 miles from Anchorage, 3 hours by jet from Fairbanks, and 340 miles above the Arctic Circle. Access: scheduled jet service from Anchorage and Fairbanks and air taxi service, okay? Accommodation and amenities: Barrow has a few hotels and restaurants. Most food and supplies can be bought here, as well as native arts and crafts. And then attractions: the Arctic Ocean, partly covered by sea ice throughout the year, almost completely ice covered in winter. Inupiat Heritage Center and Museum offers artifacts, exhibits, and native arts and crafts store. Burnert site, an archaeological site approximately 2 miles north of the Barrow airfield. The Burnett culture, which existed about 500 to 900 AD, is represented by a group of 16 dwelling mounds and is considered a key link between the prehistoric cultures of Alaska and Canada. Cape Smythe Whaling and Trading Station, located in nearby Browerville, Cape Smythe, was built as a whaling station in 1893 and is the oldest frame building in the Arctic. Will Rogers and Wiley Post Monument commemorates the 1935 airplane crash of American humorist and the famous pilot, located across the airport. Dalton Highway. Your clients may be interested in driving the mostly gravel Dalton Highway, also known as Hall Road, over the Arctic Circle and onto Dead Horse, a hardy wilderness trip. This service road parallels the northernmost portion of the Trans-Alaska Pipeline and is more than 400 miles long. Few services are available, but wildlife and fishing is abundant. For road conditions and public access restrictions, contact the Alaska Department of Transportation. Air and coach tours from Fairbanks to Dead Horse and Prudhoe Bay are available as well. Refer to travelalaska.com for listings. Dead Horse is the service town for Prudhoe Bay and has the only overnight accommodations and restaurant for the public. A gift shop and car rental are also on site. Tours to Prudhoe Bay depart from here and must be pre-arranged. Prudhoe Bay is 200 miles east of Barrow and home of the largest oil field in North America. The 800-mile Trans-Alaska pipeline system starts here and ends in Valdez. Group tours are available out of Deadhorse. Refer to travelalaska.com for package tour operators offering this option. All right, Brooks Range. The isolated mountains and unspoiled rivers of Brooks Range offer an unparalleled wilderness experience. Thousands of caribou migrate through millions of acres, hectares of wilderness parklands and mountains of the Brooks Range each year. Below are the parklands included in this area. Cape Krusenstern National Park, Kabuk Valley National Park, Noatak National Preserve, Selawik National Wildlife Refuge, and gates of the Arctic National Park and Preserve. Arctic National Wildlife Refuge from Fairbanks or Bettles. This is the headquarters for many Alaskan backcountry guides. Visitors can fly to wilderness lodges scattered throughout the Brooks Range. Accommodations and amenities. Basic hotel accommodations are available in the larger communities of Nome, Barrow, and Kotzebue, and all have B&Bs. Smaller communities may have B&Bs or lodges, but overall accommodations can be very limited. Arrangements should be made in advance. The larger communities of Barrow, Kotzebue, and Nome have restaurants. In smaller communities, meals can sometimes be purchased at the local school or senior center. Typically, there is a grocery store, but supplies can be limited. It is wise to check this out ahead of time. Some restaurants, most grocery stores may not take credit cards. Encourage your clients to purchase food locally where possible and have cash on them to take advantage of the opportunity. Remind them the prices will be higher due to additional shipping costs. Also advise them to have some snacks with them just in case stores are closed or there are none available. Shopping opportunities. Oops, hold on. Check. Okay, sorry. Okay. All right, shopping opportunities unique to the far north include purchasing traditional Eskimo clothing, baskets, dolls, ivory, and bone carvings. These can be purchased from local shops, galleries, museums, and sometimes even directly from the artist. Advise your clients to have cash on hand for these local purchases, as some of the smaller villages and many of the artists are unable to process credit cards. Noktuvuk Pass, located 260 miles northwest of Fairbanks in the central Brooks Range. The pass is the last remaining settlement of the Nunamiut or inland northern Inupiat Eskimo. Their ancestors, who date back to 500 BC, settled the village in this area because it lies directly on a caribou migration route, a departure point for trips into gates of the Arctic National Park and Preserve. And a Tuvok Pass is also included in some package tours of the Arctic. Attractions, you have the Simon Panic Memorial Museum, operates year-round, offering geological exhibits and Nunamiut cultural displays with local crafts available for purchase. Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, located in the southeastern area of the far north, the 20 million acre Arctic National Wildlife Refuge protects unique Arctic landforms, wildlife, birds, and plants. There are no roads, so visitors must fly in, usually from Fairbanks. It is the site of 3 wild and scenic rivers, the Avishak, Shinjak, and Wind rivers, and attracts visitors interested in river rafting and kayaking, wildlife and birding, hiking, and mountain climbing. This area can either be explored independently or it can be traveled through a package tour with a guide. Bettles is a departure point for trips into gates of the Arctic National Park and Preserve. Local lodges can provide accommodations and local outfitters and guides can arrange for wilderness excursions and expeditions. This is also a popular place in the winter to view northern lights and is a quick air taxi flight from Fairbanks. Gates of, excuse me, of the Arctic National Park Reserve. One of the finest wilderness areas in the world, straddles the Arctic Divide in the Brooks Range, America's northernmost chain of mountains, second only to Wrangell St. Elias National Park in size. Gates of the Arctic cover 13,238 miles, sprawls 800 miles from east to west, and is entirely north of the Arctic Circle. It extends from the southern foothills of the Brooks Range across the range's ragged peaks and down onto the north slope. Most of the park is a maze of glaciated valleys and gaunt, rugged mountains covered with the boreal forest or treeless slopes of Arctic tundra north of the divide. It is a habitat for grizzly bears, wolves, Dall sheep, moose, caribou, and wolverines. Fishing is considered superb for grayling and Arctic char in the clear streams and for lake trout in the larger, deeper lakes. Within this preserve are 6 waterways protected under the wild and scenic river systems, miles of valleys and tundra slopes to hike, and of course the gates themselves. Mount Boreal and Frigid Crags are the gates that flank the North Fork of the Koyukuk River. In 1929, Robert Marshall found an obstructed path northward to Arctic coast of Alaska through these landmark mountains. Marshall's name for the 2 mountains have remained ever since. With the exception of Dalton Highway, the park is far from any roads and is home to only 1 village, Anatuvik Pass. 8 more indigenous villages dot the perimeter, but all have less than 400 permanent residents. Gates of the Arctic contain no National Park Service facilities, visitor centers, or campgrounds. The only trails are those made by the Western Arctic caribou herd, the largest in Alaska at 490,000. Oh my gosh. The only people passing through are the truly adventurous visitors or subsistence hunters. Okay. The park is only accessible by air from Fairbanks, Bettles, or Anatuvik Pass. Its remoteness attracts mostly experienced backcountry travelers for float trips, backtracking treks, or base camps set up to enjoy day hiking and fishing. Many visitors join guided trips that a handful of outfitters offer in summer for rafting and hiking, or in the winter for dog mushing and cross-country skiing. Either as an independent traveler or as part of a guided expedition, a visit to the gates of Arctic require careful planning and advance reservations are recommended. All right, Western Arctic. Ooh, okay. All right, Western Arctic. While remote, the Western Arctic is very accessible. 2 of the largest communities in the far north, Kotzebue and Nome, are located here and have daily jet service. Smaller villages and national parks and preserves are served by scheduled and charter air taxis. Natural history and the local culture are major attractions to this area. Bering Land Bridge National Preserve. North of Nome, this park encompasses many landforms, including beaches, sand dunes, granite spires, barrier islands in the Bering Sea, and tundra, as well as the Serpentine Hot Springs located in Mountain Valley, considered a spiritual area by the Inupiat Eskimo people. The park is named after the land link that connected Alaska and Asia during the last ice age. Arranged with tour operators and outfitters to provide services and equipment for your clients wishing to visit this park. Access by air taxi or small boat in summer, air snowmobile or dog sled in the winter. Kabuk Valley National Park, a 1.7 million AC park in Northwest Alaska. Kobuk Valley National Park occupies a broad valley where the middle section of the Kobuk River is encircled by the Baird and Waring mountain ranges. Located 75 miles east of Kotzebue, this semi-enclosed bowl protects several unique features and one of Alaska's true oddities, the Great Kobuk Sand Dunes. The 25-mile Great Kobuk Sand Dunes, the Little Kobuk Sand Dunes near Onion Portage, and the Hunt River Dunes cover much of the southern Kobuk Valley and constitute the largest active sand dunes found in the Arctic. Formed by the grinding action of glaciers, these wind-sculpted dunes rise as high as 100 feet and are stabilized by the area's vegetation. The dunes, accessible by a strenuous hour-long hike along Cabot Creek from the Kobuk River, lie 40 miles above the Arctic Circle, yet summer temperatures there can soar up to 100 degrees. Did you know that? In Alaska, 100 degrees. Wow. Kobuk Valley sits astride the transition zone between the boreal forest and the treeless Arctic tundra that extends westward to the Chukchi Sea. At its northern limit here, the boreal forest is an open woodland of small trees in a mat of thick tundra. A section of the Kobuk River also runs through the park. Its bluffs, some of which stand more than 150 feet, hold permafrost ice wedges and ice age mammal fossils. The slow-moving Kobuk River offers extraordinary wilderness float trip opportunities through scenic boreal forest teeming with wildlife. Other activities include backpacking, fishing, dog sledding, hiking, and boating. Access is air taxi from Kotzebue. Kotzebue is located 26 miles north of the Arctic Circle. Kotzebue is named after the Polish explorer Otto von Kotzebue, who stumbled onto the village in 1816 while searching the Northwest Passage. The community serves as a transport and commerce center for surrounding villages and has one of the largest communities of indigenous people in all of the rural Alaska. About 80% of the residents are Inupiat Eskimo. Many residents practice traditional substance activities as well as use modern technology. Most visitors to Kotzebue arrive as a part of a package tour. The National Park Service operates a facility in Kotzebue year-round. Kotzebue is a departure point into Noatak National Preserve, Kobuk Valley National Park, and Cape Crescent-Stern National Monument. All three areas are available to visitors for day visits or multi-day wilderness excursions through tour operators, guides, and outfitters. Refer to travelalaska.com for contact information. Kotzebue is on the Baldwin Peninsula in Kotzebue Sound, a 3-mile-long spit, which ranges in width from 1,100 feet to 3,600 feet. It is located near the mouths of the Kobuk, Noatak, and Selwyn rivers, 549 miles northwest of Anchorage and 26 miles above the Arctic Circle. Access is daily jet service from Anchorage via Nome and air taxi service, accommodations and amenities. There is one motel, a few B&Bs, and a few restaurants in Kotzebue. Food and most supplies are available for purchase, as well as Inupiat Eskimo arts and crafts. Attractions are Cultural Center of the Arctic offers information about traditional clothing, foods, harvesting, and survival techniques. Front Street, a narrow gravel road on the ocean at the northern edge of the town, features salmon drying on racks, fishing boats crowding the beach to be repaired, and locals preparing for the upcoming winter. Kotzebue Cemetery, decorated spirit houses have been erected over many of the graves. Kotzebue Senior Center displays many indigenous artifacts and welcomes visitors to potlatches, musicals, and dance celebrations. Museum of the Arctic offers a cultural slideshow, demonstrations of drumming, wildlife dioramas, and performances by the Kotzebue Eskimo dancers and traditional storytelling. And then you have the National Park Service headquarters provides information about the surrounding national park lands. All right, and last one is Western Arctic continued. Okay, the Nome. Nome still retains the charm of the gold rush town that existed 100 years ago. Today, people still enjoy trying their hand at gold panning in the area. Muskox roam the hills as they did thousands of years ago, and birds continue to follow their migration paths. Indigenous families gather berries, fish, and salmon and hunt for sea mammals as their ancestors did. Nome offers sweeping views of seemingly endless tundra, plentiful wildlife, gold rush history, and indigenous culture. Nome is also the finish line for the 1,049-mile Iditarod Trail sled dog race, which, conditions permitting, starts in Wasilla the first Sunday of every March after a ceremonial start on Saturday in Anchorage. The mushers take between 9 and 14 days to complete the race and reach the Burled Arc, the official finish line in Nome. Viewing the start and finish of the race is a very popular event, attracting visitors from all over the world. Some tour operators offer packages allowing visitors to follow the mushers to various remote checkpoints along the Iditarod Trail. The location, Nome, lies along the Bering Sea on the south coast of the Seward Peninsula, facing Norton Sound. It is 539 miles northwest of Anchorage, a 75-minute flight. It lies 102 miles south of the Arctic Circle and 161 miles east of Russia. Scheduled air service from Anchorage and Fairbanks and seasonal ships are how you get around. Attractions: artifacts of the gold rush, see abandoned dredges, turn of the century steam engines, historic mining claims, railroad track, and decaying trestles. Burled Arch. The finish line for the Iditarod Trail sled dog race, the last great race on Earth, depicting the life-saving journey from Seward to Nome during the 1925 diphtheria epidemic. Carrie M. McLean Memorial Museum. Daughter of a prospector, Carrie McLean arrived in Nome when she was 8 and grew to become the town historian and one of Nome's leading citizens. With rare artifacts and 6,000 historical photos and exhibits, the museum showcases the lives of gold prospectors and presents the art and lifestyle of the Bering Straits indigenous people. Dexter Saloon, located in Dexter, just outside of Nome. This bar was operated by Wyatt Earp during the height of the Alaska Gold Rush. How cool is that? Last train to nowhere. The locomotive shipped to Nome in the late 1880s for a railroad that never materialized. Native art, carvings out of walrus, ivory, and whalebone, as well as handicrafts. Seward Peninsula and its 3 main roads: Nome Teller, 72 miles, Nome to Council, 73 miles, and Nome to Taylor, 85 miles. St. Lawrence Island. The St. Lawrence Island lies in the Bering Sea, 200 miles west of Nome and 38 miles from Russia. It is home to more seabirds than humans. So wear a hat, haha. While the island has been inhabited intermittently for the past 2,000 years by Yupik Eskimos and is now home to approximately 1,300 people, it hosts 2.7 million seabirds during nesting season. In early June, the number of puffins, auklets, murres, kittiwakes, and eiders, loons, and many other seabirds that pass the point, either migrating to their Arctic breeding grounds or local nesters on Sivakak Mountain, is astounding. At times, it is estimated tens of thousands are in the air. Bird watchers from around the world travel to the island in search of Asiatic, that's right, species rarely found in North America. Birding tours to Gamble, located on the Northwest Cape, are available out of Anchorage. St. Lawrence residents who either live in Gambell or Savoonga on the northern coast are 95.5% Yupik Eskimo, or at least part Yupik Eskimo. The isolation of the island has helped maintain their tradition, St. Lawrence Yupik culture, their language, and a subsistence lifestyle based on marine mammals. Most residents are bilingual, with Siberian Yupik still the first language. The economy is largely based on subsistence harvest from the sea, including seal, walrus, fish, and bowhead, and gray whales. Walrus hide boats are still used to hunt. Several archaeological sites near Gambell are on the National Register of Historic Places. On clear days, the mountains of Russia are visible. Access: you go, St. Lawrence Island is accessible from Nome by scheduled and chartered air taxi. Whew. Okay, you guys ready for a test? I hope you guys took notes. The 800-mile stretch of pipeline is known as, what is it? Alcan, Alaskan Pipeline, Great Oil Pipeline, Trans-Alaska Pipeline System.
Trans-Alaska Pipeline.
That's what I was thinking. Let's see. That is right. Okay. The Gates of the Arctic National Park and Preserve is second in size to what other national park? Was it this?
Oh.
Anybody know? I don't recall hearing any of these. Yellowstone or Yosemite. Anybody? Was it Denali or Wrangell?
I have no clue. I don't remember.
Yosemite one, I think I took, let me see what I wrote down.
Wrangler, St. Ellis.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Thank you. If your client wanted to see the end of the Iditarod sled dog race, where would you send them and in which month? Either Nome or Barrow.
I thought it was borrow.
Doo-doo. What about Coatesville?
I think it's Nome.
Nome. Let's try it. Yep, it's Nome. Nome for the end of the dog race, guys. The Dalton Highway is also known as,
The Hall Road.
The Hall Road. That's an easy one. Yes, correct. Westerners first came to the far north region in search of
Gold.
gold. That's correct. If your client wanted to see the end, where would you send them in which month? Didn't I just have this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nome in March.
No. That one was easy. The traditional names of the indigenous peoples of the far north region are
Yupik and Inupiat.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Very good. Which community would you send your client if they wanted to go to the northernmost community in the North America where the sun doesn't set for 82 days in the summer?
Barrow.
That's correct. True or false? The far north region is accessible year-round.
False.
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 Well, I guess it is, but you have to get there.
But not easy to be assessed
Correct.
to. All right, more seabirds than humans live on the island. That is.
St. Lawrence.
Which island was it?
St. Lawrence.
St. Lawrence. Yes. All right, well, we at least passed. You guys got it? Anybody need help? Anybody need to go through the test again?
Well, my questions are kind of scrambled around, so
Okay, what did you need to help with?
I have the Norman question right now, the known.
Okay, do you need me to go back over them?
Okay, let me see. If your client wants in, it gave it to me back to back.
Okay,
Which community, the 82 days in summer was borrow?
yeah.
And Dalton Highway,
Yeah, that's the Hall Road.
try to write it down. And the 800-mile stretch,
What was
Pipeline.
it?
this 800-mile stretch of pipeline. Did y'all get that question?
800 miles pipeline. What is it? Read it to us.
Okay, say this 800-mile stretch of
Oh, she said
Pipeline is-
Trans-Alaskan.
Trans-Alaska.
Yep.
More seabirds than humans live on,
True. Oh, what island?
yes. It's St. Lawrence.
Yes.
Okay, Western first came to the North region, gold.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank
Got
you.
it?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, congratulations. Congratulations, you are now a specialist. Whoop, 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 whoop.
All right.
All right, let's go to the next one. Go back. Nope, I don't want that. So
It
select
kicked,
a module.
it kicked me out totally, so
Yeah,
I'm
it
trying
did
to
me.
get back.
It did me too. Yeah.
Look, almost done. One more left.
Oh.
So let me know when you guys are all ready. Winter, adventure, luxury, cultural, culinary, and special interest.
Wait a minute. What's what?
I'm there. Yay, finally.
Okay. Jenny's doing a training. I gotta post it real quick, so hold on.
Okay, I'm here.
All right, everybody good? Do, 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 do. All right, let me put this here. Let me put this here. And here, okay. Hold on, sorry, I just need to let them know to. Can you guys post these in my group, please? Okay, perfect. Let's get going. Many travelers, sorry. All right, many travelers are looking for more specific focus in their Alaska vacation. Whether your clients are more interested in trying the local flavors, having an in-depth cultural or wildlife experience, or a backcountry adventure, Alaska has what you're looking for. Learn in the module. Please record. Sorry. I can't talk at the same time. All right. Intro. In the travel industry, there are standard. Does anybody else want to read? I'm just asking. If not, I don't mind. I'm doing okay. All right. If anybody does later on, let me know. In the travel industry, there are standard definitions for many niche markets: active adventure, soft adventure, educational, special needs, family, RV, driving, wilderness, package, or organized, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, eco travel, and so on. In reality, these markets are not so cut and dried, which is especially true in Alaska, where niche groups tend to dramatically overlap. Luxury cruises ply wild waterways, while National Park Service naturalists simultaneously educate passengers on the geography and wildlife they are viewing. A family rents an RV to visit the parks and communities on Alaska's road system, do a little fishing, and enjoy some special time together. A traveler conscientious of the fragile ecosystem in which he or she is traveling boards a bus to travel deep into the Denali National Park and Preserve, to stay at a wilderness lodge offering hiking, canoeing, hot showers, and homemade meals. Here we will detail a few of these niche markets and offer some travel suggestions. Adventure. Adventure is truly subjective. The National Tour Association says this is very broad category that generally focuses on the outdoors and on physical activities such as rock climbing, skiing, hiking, kayaking, and canoeing. For many travelers, Alaska is synonymous with adventure. Adventure, whether it is hard or soft, is a component of a day's activity. No matter if your clients are on a luxury cruise ship, in a hotel, staying in an RV, or a B&B, there are plenty of options for your clients wishing to experience the adventures of Alaska. Many outfitters will provide gear and instruction, so no matter your client's skill levels, they will be sure to be comfortably and safely enjoy the outdoors in Alaska. Here are a few active options. Kayaking. Kayaking tours can be booked through several adventure tour operators, and rentals are available in most coastal communities for those interested in going out on their own. Some areas well known for kayaking are Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve, Gateway Community Gustavus, Kenai Fords National Park, Gateway Community Seward, and Prince William Sound, Gateway Communities Valdez, Cordova, and Whittier. Canoeing. Canoe routes, has been established in Wood-Tikchik State Park out of Dillingham, and in road accessible areas like the Kenai Peninsula and through the Tango Lakes region off the Denali Highway, as well as other regions throughout the state. Guides and outfitters offer local knowledge and can provide all necessary equipment for your client's safety and enjoyment. They will also have the appropriate permits and passes for any waterways to be used. River rafting. A variety of river rafting options are available throughout Alaska. They can be full day and half day scenic float trips, appropriate for all ability levels, while water expeditions for the more advanced adrenaline junkies, or fly-in wilderness excursions for those that really want the off-the-grid experience. Scenic float trips. Mendenhall River in Juneau, Alaska Chilkat Bald Eagle Preserve in Haines, Spencer Glacier Iceberg Float Tour in conjunction with the ride on the Alaska Railroad, and then Whitewater Expeditions, Nanana River in the Denali National Park region, Matanuska River in the Matsu Valley, the Kenai are 6 mile rivers on the Kenai Peninsula, Keystone Canyon on the Low River near Valdez. Fly-in, multi-day or multi-week wilderness excursion. Outfitters can provide all the planning, transportation, gear, and guides to get your clients into some of the most remote and scenic wilderness rivers in the world. Sorry. Many of these areas are discussed in modules 2 through 6, or visit travelalaska.com for more information. Another option to present to your clients is rafting either the Tatshenshini or Alsek rivers. Both are within the world's largest internationally protected wilderness area and considered a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Wrangell St. Elias National Park and Preserve, Kluane National Park and Reserve, Tatchinshini, Alsek Provincial Park, and Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve. Both rivers are considered one of the must-dos in the world of river rafting. Then you have bike riding, whether taking to the mountain trails, paved or unpaved roads. Alaska is a great destination for bicycle riders. Scenic rolling highways with wide shoulders are one option. Less traveled secondary roads with the little traffic are another. Bikers can camp, stay in lodges or hotels, roadhouses, or B&Bs. Rentals are available in most of the larger communities, while bike tour companies offer supportive group bike tours. Most visitor information centers have maps with biking trails, and in Alaska, people even bike in winter. Some rental companies offer flat tire bikes, which provide the extra traction needed to pedal through the snow and slick winter terrain, along with the necessary gear for riding in winter condition. Hiking, be it guided or unguided, long or short, day hikes or overnight expeditions, there's literally something for every hiker who comes to any region of Alaska. Many wilderness guides and outfitters may offer fully supported hiking tours. For independent hikers, maps, guides, and information about necessary permits or fees to access restricted areas are available from the Alaska Public Lands Information Centers. Wilderness hikes are minutes from most communities in Alaska. State and national parks have extensive hiking trails within their boundaries, and the Forest Service has cabins your clients can hike into that can be reserved ahead of time. Alaska makes it easy to get out on a trail. Your clients can buy or rent any gear they need from local outfitting stores, and hiking doesn't stop when the snow falls. Winter hikers take to the trails with snowshoes to explore the spectacular winter beauty. Remind your clients that all hikers and bikers should use common sense. They should always tell someone where they are going, bring ample food and water and emergency gear. Plan for the weather, dress in layers, respect other users of the trail, remember their camera, and most importantly, be aware of wildlife. While many travelers want to get up close sightseeing or sighting of wildlife, it's crucial to remember these animals are wild and can be dangerous and unpredictable. Dog mushing. Your clients can get a taste of what dog mushing is all about in summer and winter. Dog mushing, okay, thank you, Faith. Dog mushers are so eager to share the best of Alaska's state sport that they are opening their homes, dog yards, and kennels to Alaska visitors. Summer tours can include riding on the back of a dog-pulled wheeled cart, trying on dog mushing gear, holding puppies, taking lots of pictures, and even meeting some Iditarod trail sled dog race veterans. Some tours include taking a helicopter onto a glacier and mushing the dogs in the snow. If your clients want to see dogs in full action in their best season, winter is a time to visit. They can be a spectator at the numerous dog sled races across the state, or ride in a sled themselves. Maybe even ride the runners as a musher. More information can be found in the winter travel section of this module. All right, wildlife focus. For clients coming to Alaska just to fish, there are many destination fishing lodges that offer additional activities for people wanting to accompany the person fishing, but are not interested in fishing themselves. Many coastal communities host fishing derbies where the lucky angler can win cash prizes by catching a big fish or a fish that has been caught, tagged, and released. Sizable awards are available, and if your client happens to be fishing when a derby is on, you might suggest they consider entering. The nominal fee for admission is a small price to pay for the excitement of being involved in the event. And every year there are tales of lucky anglers who have caught an oversized, otherwise prize-winning fish, but neglected to enter the derby. Keep your clients informed so this doesn't happen to them. Contact the coastal communities your clients will be visiting for a complete list of the derby dates. All people fishing must have a license. Check Alaska sport fishing regulations for the most up-to-date information. Birding, with more than 500 documented species winging their way to and around the state, birding fans flock to Alaska. They may travel independently or with a tour group devoted to birding. Birders do take their pastime very seriously and need a travel professional who takes their special interest seriously and is able to provide the information they need. They most likely have done their homework and know what birds they can find in Alaska, but they may need your assistance in getting to birding sites. And all the better if you can surprise them with some additional tidbits of information, such as a list of birding activities in Alaska, including these festivals. Okay, thank you, Kisha. I'll get you on the next one. Stikine River Garnet Festival, Wrangell, April. Copper River Delta Shorebird Festival, Cordova, May. Kachemak Bay Shorebird Festival, Homer, May. Alaska Bald Eagle Festival, Haines, November. Visit travelalaska.com to learn about additional events throughout the state. There are also Audubon chapters throughout Alaska. They can provide a list of prime birding spots that can give to your clients. Other special birding sites include Creamer's Field Migratory Bird Refuge, Fairbanks, Nome, Barrow, Chilkat River, Haines, Attu Island in the Aleutian Chain, St. Paul Island, the Pribilofs, Copper River Delta, Cordova, Potter Marsh, Anchorage, Gamble, St. Lawrence Island, and Bering Sea, Alaska Raptor Center, Sitka. Encourage all your clients traveling to Alaska to keep their eyes open and their binoculars handy. They will see birds in Alaska and may even begin calling themselves birders. Wildlife viewing, one of the reasons visitors from all over the world come to Alaska is to see wildlife, and keeping an eye out for it is a feature of just about any trip to the state. There are numerous wildlife viewing sites around the state that provide the chance to see bear, moose, caribou, mountain goats, Dall sheep, and other animals in the natural habitat. Sometimes wildlife can be seen right in Alaska's urban locales. Marine wildlife viewing sites and excursions along the coast offer chances to see whales, sea otters, seals, and sea lions. Sometimes visitors forget wildlife is wild and are disappointed when they don't see a particular animal, or if they do, it is quite a distance. The travel professional can assist their clients in having realistic expectations about their wildlife viewing opportunities, reminding them that they will be searching for wildlife, encouraging them to appreciate the chance to be in the animal's natural habitat, and reminding them to pack a pair of binoculars. You can also encourage your clients to look for evidence that an animal has been there, for example, footprints on the ground or snow, claw marks on a tree, flattened grass from bedding down, or bite marks on signs. An overview of wildlife viewing guidelines and sites can be found at the Alaska Department of Fish and Game website. Consider referring your client there or copy some of the information and include it in their final documents. Wildlife viewing opportunities are statewide and include wildlife tours by bus, Denali National Park and Preserve, fly-in bear viewing in Southwest Alaska, that'd be cool, fly-in, boat-in, or roadside bear viewing in the Inside Passage whale watching cruises from coastal communities, including Kenja Ford's National Park, Prince William Sound, Gustavus, Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve, and Juneau. Undersea marine life viewing and snorkeling in Ketchikan. Polar bear viewing in the far north region. If your client is looking for guaranteed wildlife sightings and an educational background on the wildlife of Alaska, encourage them to visit the Alaska Raptor Center, Sitka, Alaska Sea Life Center, Seward, Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center, Portage, the Alaska Zoo, Anchorage, the Musk Ox Farm and Reindeer Farm, Palmer, and the Large Animal Research Station, Fairbanks. All right, your turn, Kisha. Now remember, if you get tired, just let me know, okay?
Okay.
Here you go. Thank you.
No problem. It's a winter adventure, luxury, culture, culinary, and special interest tourism, cultural travels. Culture means something different to everyone. Alaska has something to offer to all visitors looking for culture, however they define it. The historical background of Alaska is colorful, interesting, and diverse. The performing arts are well represented in most of the communities, and locals are proud to share them throughout the year. For years, people have been trying to capture Alaska on canvas and in photos. These fine works of art hang in many museums and galleries around the state. Some tours include visits to the larger and better-known museums such as the Anarch Museum, the University of Alaska Museum of the North in Fairbanks in the Alaska State Library, Arches and Museum in Canoe. I think that's what that is. Okay, visitors are also encouraged to explore the museum and history display that are a part of many smaller Alaska communities. These can be found as state-alone entities or part of visitor centers, community halls, airports, and shops throughout their trip. Refer to travelalaska.com for a comprehensive list of large or small museums in Alaska, include a printout for the community your clients will be visiting. For clients that want a real hands-on experience with history and an archaeological dig might be just right for them. Digs of Alaskan indigenous sites are possible on Afnak Island, close to Kodiak Island. For more information, refer to the Southwest Alaska Municipal Conference website or Alutiiq Museum. Many regions in the state also offer many regions in the state also offer other hands-on cultural and artistic experiences. Another way your client can experience local culture firsthand is by visiting festivals and fairs across the state. Refer to travelalaska.com for list of community events.
Isn't it fun reading? Some of the words is like, wow.
Yes. Okay, my video is not available.
Yeah, mine either.
Okay. Alaska doesn't hibernate like bears. Winter is when the fun begins and you're officially invited. Whether you desire endless white solitude or activities in advance, Alaska has its own from wildlife to nightlife. Winter visitors may be surprised to find out that they are as tough as most Alaskans and is neither as dark nor as cold as you might expect. Winter brings 0 through 6 hours of daylight on the shortest day of the year, depending on where you are. And with hours of twilight and dawn on either side, there is plenty of usable daylight to get in a full day of activity. With the average temperature around 20 Fahrenheit, winter enthusiasts can enjoy Alaska in complete comfort. Alaska stays rapidly gaining daylight in the early spring, and with dozens of festivals and events taking place in late February and into March, this makes the perfect time to experience winter in Alaska and get a feel for what it's really like in our most divine season. Okay, excuse me. Even in Alaska, railroad operators in the winter with the Aurora rental train. Typically, the railroad will operate on the weekends, but also offer additional departure around the Iditarod. The Aurora rental train is a wonderful and comfortable way to travel between Anarch and Fairbanks in the winter months. Sit back and relax with a warm beverage while watching the winter landscape pass by or the northern lights dance overhead. What you'll find is that Alaskan embraces winter, both by taking part in boundless outdoor adventures in arts and cultural events that showcase the creativity and a sense of community that defines the northern lifestyle. Several major winter events bring visitors from around the world to Alaska, so there are plenty to do and seating prices are often lower than in the busiest summer months. Alaska's most popular and iconic winter experience includes dog mushing, northern light viewing, snowboarding, and skiing. snowshoeing, snowmobiling, and sports and cultural events. Combine that with fantastic local owner restaurants, museums, and cultural centers, shopping and local craft beer and other spirits, and you got a recipe for an incomparable winter holiday. Dog mushing. Dog mushing is the official state sport of Alaska. It has been part of life in Alaska since its earliest day. Long before it became part of the United States or Europe, explorer reaches its shore. Despite the great distance between some rural communities, travel by dog teams is often still the best way to get around. Today, dog teams are usually by rural residents who rely on them to hunt and travel. Weekend hobbyists who enjoy exploring the back country with man's best friend and Alaska version of elite sports celebrities, the competitors in the state's big name races. For visitors, there are several ways to get in touch with the dog mushing culture of Alaska. Perhaps easiest is to join the cheering fans on one of dozens of races that take place statewide each winter. Sprint races take place frequently, sometimes at designated dog mushing travels and tracks, oftentimes on downtown streets during festivals on either big events. The start and finish line of the state's premier long distance races are also exciting. The Enchilada Trail Sled Dog Race begins with a ceremonious day start in downtown Entourage on the first Saturday in March, and the official start the following Sunday in Willow. Snow conditions permitting, there has been years where the official start was moved up to Fairbanks due to the lack of snow in the South Central region. Race finished in Nome to the applause of thousands of spectators, typically 9 to 15 days later. For a true unique experience, the client can bid to ride on a sled in the ceremonial state of the entrade, out to work checkpoints throughout the race, or fly into checkpoints to cheer on the team. The Yukon Quest International Sled Dog Race alternate. It starts between Fairbanks and Whitehorse, Yukon Territory. Depending on the year, you can be part of the send-off or the finish line on the frozen Chena River in downtown Fairbanks in February. Check local events calendars and travelalaska.com for a schedule of upcoming races. Tours and hands-on experience. In communities across Alaska, tours are available that allow guests to ride in a sled basket behind the team or even stand on the runners and mush through their own team. These tours can range from a couple of hours to several days. The longer experience including guides, winter, backcountry camping for the truly adventurous. Canal tours are also common. Mushers take guests through their kennel to learn about the raising and training of dog teams, meet puppies, and go for a short ride. These experiences are also widely available in the summer when some teams relocate to the top of glaciers to continue training year round. Guests travel by helicopter to glacier camps for a truly amazing experience. Winter sports, skiing, snowboarding, alpine sports in Alaska are a way of life. Whether your clients are simply looking for a good workout and beautiful surrounding, or they're a thrill-seeking, deep power addict, Alaska has the experience for everyone. Ecocrest Sky area in Juneau and Alaska's resort in Girdwood are the main down here recreation areas for resort based alpine skiing and snowboarding. Local finds plenty of opportunity for life service skills in Anarchy at Hilltop Ski area in Glow at Arctic Valley in Fairbanks at Mount Ural, Skyland and Moose Mountains. Back County skiing. Those that prefer the Back County can enjoy terrain at Thomas Pass near Valdez, Hatcher Pass in Palom, and Terrigan Pass on the Canal Peninsula Clients should have avalanche survival training in the appropriate gear prior to venturing into the Alaska backcountry. Encouraging them to visit the Alaska Avalanche Information Center website, sorry, for the day's avalanche reports. Cross-country skiing. Cross-country skiing is easily accessible in just about every Alaska community, whether it's on groomed trails or trackless mountainsides. The Tony Nose Coastal Trail in Archer, part of which is Kincaid Park, is a popular place to start with groomed trails and maintaining tracks. Also in Archer are Russian Jack Spring Parks in the Hillside Trail System. Cross-country skiers in Fairbanks can enjoy Birch Hill Recreation Area and the University of Alaska Fairbanks Trail System. Eagle Crest Ski Area is also the right place to find groomed Nordic trails for both cross-country and state skiing in Juneau. The Canal presents Gil Hatcher Pass is the Matsu Valley and many other areas offer groomed trails and peaceful winter landscapes for cross-country skiing. Rentals are available in many communities, making it easier for your client to incorporate a great workout into their Alaska winter vacation. Hill skiing, okay. In Alaska, you don't need to be an expert skier or snowboarder in order to heli ski. Am I saying that right? The season runs from late winter to spring, February through April, a time with prime snow conditions, increased daylight hours, and safest flying conditions. The most popular areas for heli skiing in Alaska include the Prince William Sound community of Valdez and Codorus, as well as Girdwood in South Central Alaska, and the inside passenger communities of Haines and Juneau. Snowmobiling in Alaska, no wilderness is too far out of reach to explore, and a snowmobile is often the best way to get there. Numerous tour operators offer both guides and unguided treks into the back country for riders of all abilities. Some excellent snowboarders located includes Fairbanks, Denali, Talakana, Valdez, Haines, the Matsu Valley, Girdwood, and the Canela Peninsula. Oh, if you do go snowboarding in Alaska, don't be confused if people start talking about snow machines. That's the local vernacle for the backcountry machines. I don't know. Okay. You want me to keep going?
If you want, you can finish this one, and I can take it back if you like.
Okay, winter events. When is the best time of year to get an authentic, I know that word. Feel for
Authentic.
yeah, authentic. I was like, I know this word. Authentic feel for the culture because the season is chock full of events that celebrates the spirit of Alaska. Alaska is known for its turkey festivals and celebrations, with plenty of time in the winter. Creativity blooms. Events range from usually to downright cold. Downright odd. The Carnival Iceworm Festival featuring the Miss Iceworm competition. Fur Ridivius on church with snowshoes, softball, ice bowling, in the miners and trappers ball, tripod days in Nene, where gamblers can make a wager on when the Nene River ice will break up in the spring. Chakaniki Days in Fairbanks, the highlights of which is the annual outhouse race, wilderness women contest, and bachelor's auction and ball festivals. A day's worth of fun events in Tikatina, World Ice Caving Championship, a series competition and exhibits for all ages to participate in a review of incredible temporary works of art in Fairbanks. Museum shows, gallery walks, and performances are frequent in most cities. Okay,
You want me to take over?
I'm tongue tied.
Okay, I tell you, it's tough, I know. Thank you so much. So Aurora Borealis, Alaska is one of the best places on earth to see the northern lights, colorful bands of light that dance in the dark night sky. Travelers from all over the world come to Alaska each winter to see this stunning display and take advantage of other winter experiences. The science, what are the northern lights exactly? The northern lights, also known as aurora borealis, occur between 60 to 150 miles above the surface of the earth. To compare, a passenger jet flies between 4 to 7 miles above the earth's surface, so the aurora can extend a few hundred miles into space. The most common color displayed is a brilliant yellow-green, but the aurora borealis can also produce red, blue, and purple patterns. Aurora activity increases with sunspot activity, which generally occurs 11-year cycles. Aurora activity approached a maximum in the year 2012. This will last about 4 to 5 years, which means there will be more auroras visible from locations south of the main aurora occurrence zone than during the solar minimum years. Visitors can track near-term activity by taking advantage of the University of Alaska Fairbanks online aurora forecasting tool. How to see them? While the northern lights occur year-round, summers near constant daylight make seeing them next to impossible. So in winter, however, clear, dark nights lend themselves to stunning displays. Sightings are also possible during the shoulder seasons of early spring and into the fall, when less daylight leads to darker night skies. The aurora are typically most active between the hours of 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. So let your clients know it will be a late night. Many Alaska hotels even offer a northern lights wake-up call upon request to wake visitors who don't want to miss out on the incredible experience. Towns and cities produce ambient light that interferes with the aurora viewing. And while the aurora is still visible from cities, it is best to view from the outskirts of town or in an area known for clear, dark skies. The interior, especially Fairbanks and far north regions, are considered the best in Alaska for northern lights viewing. Although the aurora can be spotted anywhere in the state, depending on the forecast, skies must also be completely clear with no cloud cover in order to see the aurora. Anybody here ever see them? The aurora lights? I'd love to do that. How about luxury? How to define luxury travel? It is attentive, exclusive, unique, first class, customized, personal, private, high-end, opulent. Luxury travel can be all that, but it is your client's definition that matters. It is crucial for you as a travel professional to completely understand that definition and ask the proper questions to decide if a property or experience meets your client's needs and expectations. There are lodges, charter boats and yachts, hotels and transportation services that cater to the high-end clients looking for a highly unique and specialized experience. Something to keep in mind, however, is many lodges, inns, and excursions are in extremely remote areas. So while you might not find a 5-star luxuries that are common elsewhere, you will find exceptional hospitality and once-in-a-lifetime experiences that cannot be matched anywhere in the world. For additional questions on luxury experiences for your clients, email traveltrade@alaskatia.org. All right, RV and highway travel. RVers and people choosing to drive themselves usually like the outdoors and appreciate the flexibility driving gives them. They tend to be independent, but there is a great deal you can do for these clients. First of all, for those renting their RV or car in Alaska, you can make that reservation as well as book their airfare and their campgrounds, hotels, motels, and B&Bs. You can also book their day excursions. Some suggestions include glacier cruises, flight seeing, charter fishing excursions, or any other adventure activities. Most communities have information about what there is to see and do and where to stay in the vicinity. Though resources available on travelalaska.com, you can be the local expert for your clients and encourage them to call you if there's anything they want to do once they arrive in Alaska. Federal, state, and private campgrounds are available throughout the state. Some have electrical hookups and dump stations. Contact the Alaska State Park, Federal Parks Lands about public campgrounds, and the Alaska Campground Owners Association for information on private facilities. Wilderness travel. Wilderness travel is an integral part of visiting Alaska. For some travelers, every aspect of Alaska is wilderness, certainly compared to what they may know back home. Modes of transportation for off the beaten path experiences include four-wheel drive vehicles, aircraft, small watercraft, small mobiles, snowmobiles, dog sleds, skis, all-terrain vehicles, ATVs, and bicycles. Accommodations range from lodges and B&Bs to Forest Service cabins and tents, and the activity options are endless. Of the 365 million acres in Alaska, only about 1 million acres of them are private. This means there is a great deal of land available for your clients' recreational purposes in the wilderness. National parks. There are 15 national parklands in Alaska comprising more than 54 million acres. This is about 2/3 of the land in the entire national park system. Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve and Denali National Park and Preserve may be two of the most recognized and visited national parks and preserves in Alaska. But all the parklands have something special to offer, including wildlife viewing, camping, outdoor photography, and cross-country skiing, to name a few. A full listing of the national parklands in Alaska is available through Travel Alaska. State parks. The Alaska Division of State Parks manages more than 130 park units spread over more than 3 million acres, ranging from roadside campgrounds to large wilderness parks. There are plenty of backcountry recreational opportunities. One of your best resources of information is the Alaska Public Land Information Center, featuring information about state and national parks and other public lands. There are 4 offices in the state that are visitor destinations in themselves, featuring free museum exhibits, video programs, recreation information, and excellent reference libraries. Encourage your clients to visit these centers while in Alaska, and be sure to contact each directly for assistance and reference materials for planning purposes. Two more. Specialty interest and needs. All right, LGBT. Alaska welcomes all travelers. There are many accommodation, tour, and experience options for LGBT clients. Pride Fest is celebrated in Anchorage, Fairbanks, and Juneau annually, and there are a number of LGBT-friendly restaurants, establishments, and lodging accommodations throughout the state as well. Ecotourism is defined as the practice of traveling to beautiful natural places for pleasure in a way that does not damage the environment there. Alaska is a prime year-round destination for those seeking a more personal connection with nature, culture, and wilderness. Adventure Green Alaska runs the only certification program in Alaska for tourism businesses that meet specific standards of economic, environmental, and social sustainability. If your client finds this important as part of their travel plans, visit the AGA website for a list of certified companies. You can also ask any tour and travel supplier or vendor with whom you are working about their ecotourism policies and practices. Travel for visitors with disabilities, sometimes a niche in itself. Travel for your client with a disability is certainly possible in Alaska. There is a broad range of year-round vacation experiences and travel services available. Many of the cruise lines are able to accommodate these special needs. However, if your client does not want to take a cruise, they can still come to Alaska and comfortably get around. The Alaska Marine Highway System has cabins configured for travelers with wheelchairs or other special needs. The Alaska Railroad and some tour companies have rail cars and coaches with lifts as well. There are also hotels, motels, taxis, and rental vans equipped to meet the needs of the traveler with disabilities. It might take a few more phone calls or emails on the part of the travel professional, but it can certainly be done. Visit the State of Alaska Americans with Disability Act website for more information, or call or visit Access Alaska and Challenge Alaska. Traveling with pets. More and more travelers are vacationing with their furry family members, and Alaska is a great place to do so. Pets should be up to date on their vaccinations, and owners should travel with appropriate documentation and their pet's health certificate from their veterinarian. Most campgrounds and RV parks allow pets, but always check the regulation before including it in your client's itinerary, particularly if they plan to stay in a national or state park. Four-legged family members, especially dogs, can be great traveling companions if your client is doing their own itinerary. Pets, unless they are service animals, are not usually welcome on group tours and daily excursions. The Alaska Railroad does allow pets, but they must be in an airline approved kennel in the baggage compartment. Many hotels allow pets, but may charge an additional fee. Your client might want to enjoy a day or overnight excursion where their pet cannot join them. Several of Alaska communities have pet daycare or boarding facilities available for these instances. It is important that your client's pets have the Bordetella vaccine for them to be allowed in most boarding facilities. In many cases, this vaccine must be specifically requested and is not included in the normal vaccinations. Reservations for boarding pets should be scheduled well in advance as well. Several communities in Alaska do have leash laws. Reminding your client to keep their pets leashed in Alaska is generally a good recommendation, not only due to being in a strange place but also because of the amount of wildlife that could be anywhere, even in downtown Anchorage. Several communities feature dog parks where your clients can unleash their dogs. If your clients are planning to hike any of the Alaska's trails, remind them to check the trailhead signs first, as some trails do not allow pets. Last but not least, okay. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, specialty interests and needs continued. Agritourism. Where does a pumpkin grow large enough to second as a carriage? In Alaska, it's not unusual to see record-breaking pumpkins weighing in at over 1,000 pounds. It might be a stretch to imagine vegetables doubling as a vehicle, but that's heavier than most motorcycles. Even with its long winter months and location near the Arctic Circle, Alaska has a robust agricultural scene. With more than 20 hours of daylight in the summer, plants have almost twice as much time to grow. In 1935, the Matanuska colony, an offshoot of President Roosevelt's New Deal resettlement initiative to create work for Americans during the Depression and Dust Bowl era, marked the start of the agriculture in Alaska. The experiment sent 200 colonist families to Matanuska, Susitna, Matsu Valley north of Anchorage to settle on 40-acre tracts. Some of these original farms and buildings are still around today and are the basis for new programs and attractions in the Matsu Valley. Agricultural attractions have been around in Alaska for years, but recently visitors have become interested in getting their hands in the dirt as well. From U-Pick farms, reindeer and bison farms, wineries, breweries, farmers markets, and events, there are more and more opportunities to experience Alaska grown. Family owned for more than 3 decades, Pyra's Pioneer Peak Farm, geez, say that 3 times. One of the original homesteads during the Colony Project has a successful U-Pick program. Customers can come to the farm and pick from a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, such as artichokes, radishes, strawberries, sugar snap peas, raspberry, crookneck squash, to name a few. Every year, the Pyras invite locals and visitors to their fall harvest festival to celebrate the season's bounty. Fairbanks is also home to another spectacular garden, the northernmost botanical garden in America. The University of Alaska Fairbanks Georgeson Botanical Garden has a second function aside from being a pretty place to explore. Dedicated to high altitude horticulture, it is also a contributing member of a group of gardens used to research plant culture and conservation. Peony farms have gained momentum across the state in recent years as well. The fluffy, fragrant dinner's plant plate-sized blooms are at their peak in the mid to late Alaskan summer, with their usual season being in the spring and early summer elsewhere. Alaskan peonies are in high demand from flower brokers from all over the world. About 15 miles southeast of Fairbanks, just outside of the North Pole, is the Chena Lakes Farm. Spanning 52 acres of sustainable land, Chena Lakes features a rustic log lodge where guests can experience life on a farm while dining on a complimentary breakfast of locally grown fruit, eggs, dairy, and meat. Visitors can take part in the daily routine of tending to the plants and feeding the donkeys, chickens, and turkeys that live on the property. Alaska's wild and woolly creatures are also attracting travelers. The Musk Ox Farm on mile 50 of the Glen Highway near Palmer allows visitors to get up close and personal with a friendly crowd of an otherwise scary looking animal. The Musk Ox is an Ice Age mammal that has long outlived its woolly mammoth and saber-toothed tiger companions. It is believed that musk ox became extinct from Alaska in the 1800s, but were reintroduced around 1930. The musk ox is most famous for its wool, or kvyat, as it is called by the Alaska indigenous people, and it is considered some of the rarest and finest wool in the world. A shop in downtown Anchorage sells scarves, hats, and other items knitted from this pricey wool. At Williams Reindeer Farm in Palmer, 150 reindeer live harmoniously with Rocky Mountain elk, horses, and bison. Originally a Matanuska Colony Dairy Farm, the Williams family have been running the business since 1987. Guests can visit the animals or take part in the activities such as hiking, scavenger hunts, and horseback riding. There are several agricultural fairs throughout the summer months across the state. The culmination of Alaska's agricultural bounty is the Alaska State Fair, kicking off its late August. The 2-week extravaganza brings thousands to hear music, watch dance performances, eat local foods, view prized animals, antique tractors, arts and crafts, and the star of the show, colossal vegetables. Local growers set 10 fruit and vegetable world records between the years in 1983 and 2009. Apart from 127-pound cabbages and 1,287-pound pumpkins, the fair is also famous for its beautiful display of local grown flowers. Cool summer help flowers maintain their bright and vibrant colors long into late summer and fall. Culinary tourism. Alaska's accommodations, restaurants, and nightlifes offer a true taste of the last frontier. Wild Alaska seafood, including salmon, halibut, and king crab, attract visitors from all over the world and can be sampled just about anywhere in the state. Each year, more restaurants are joining the local food movement in Alaska by featuring farm-to-table produce, seafood, and game in their menus. A variety of tour options are available for your clients to gather their own vegetables and seafood, participate in a cooking class, and enjoy the fruits of their labor. Culinary tourism is booming in Alaska. Learn more about activity options on travelalaska.com. And then we have breweries, distilleries, and wineries. In addition to the local food scene, Alaska boasts a thriving beer culture. Ranked 5th in the nation for breweries per capita in 2009, visitors can taste handcrafted brews at a growing number of breweries and brew pubs statewide. Alaska's rich beer brewing history dates back to the Russian occupation days of the 1700s and continued through the gold rush era of the late 1800s and early 1900s. Fast forward another century and Alaskans are on the forefront of the craft beer industry, using many Alaska grown ingredients such as birch, honey, spruce tips, and berries. Microbreweries continue to spring up across the state, offering not only award-winning high quality beer, but also tastings, tours, and retail items. Additional beer centric activities include brewery tours, festivals, and special events. Alaska is also home to a handful of craft distilleries and wineries that typically offer tour tasting rooms and on-site sales. The flavors created in distilleries are as unique as Alaska smoked salmon and fireweed. For example, among others, wineries producing a range of berry vintages are also available in certain parts of the state. Woo! All right, guys, you guys ready for the test? Guys, let's go. All right, everybody ready? Ready. The 5 species of Pacific salmon, for my training, unless you're planning on staying on. I'll hand it over to you, Jenny, okay?
And
yeah,
that's
I'm almost-
fine. I just wanted to make sure you knew I needed it.
Okay, yeah. So the 5 species of Pacific salmon found in Alaska are,
King, silver, sockeye, pink, and
Pink and
chum.
chum.
all right, very good. Boop, boop, boop. True or false, it isn't necessary to arrange for hunting and fishing licenses in Alaska.
False.
False. That's correct. Luxury travel in Alaska may include the following: unique local cuisine, once in a lifetime, all of the above.
All the above.
Very good. Agritourism has grown in Alaska over the years. Recently, farms of this highly sought after flower have gained momentum throughout the state.
Peony.
Peonies, yes. This is a popular event for both avid and novice birding clients. Is it?
The
St. Lawrence.
Island Annual Bird Festival.
Is a 2 island?
Yeah.
A 2 island.
All right, let's try a 2 island.
No, it's the
Nope,
Copper River.
River
Copper
Delta.
River.
All right, true or false? There is no rail service in the winter.
True.
False. False. There is just a little bit.
So there is or no?
There is.
There
just a little
is.
bit. So they're dancing
It's
false.
just
Oh.
It's false.
Uh-oh, we may not pass this one. Archaeological digs are available in the communities of,
The Afognak Island.
Yes.
yes. The official state sport of Alaska is
Dog mushing.
dog mushing, yes. There are how many national parklands in Alaska?
15.
Very good.
15.
Which of the following would be considered adventure travel?
All of the above.
No.
All right, did we pass? Did we pass?
Well,
Yes. We missed
Congratulations.
2, but we still passed, guys. Yeah. All right. right, congratulations. I just got my congratulations on my email also. So guys, again, if you missed the first ones, they're right here on our YouTube channel. I am recording this one also. So make sure, you know, print your certificate, tell everybody congratulations, let them know you're a specialist. And on Friday, we finished Britain, but we're going to do England originals to kind of go over more of Britain. Okay. So again, welcome everybody. Congratulations. If you want to stay on, Jenny's doing how to promote your business on Facebook. So you guys can stay on board with us now, and Jenny will be taking over. So I'm going to stop this recording now. Da, da, da.